Hey, good morning, guys. Welcome to VA Friyay. Hopefully, you guys had a great week. Washington is finally in the summertime, kind of, sort of. People are melting at 80 degrees. As a guy who's born and raised in Oklahoma, to me, this feels great. But I did talk to an Uber driver yesterday, and they did not. They said it was too hot at 80 degrees, and I enjoyed it greatly. So today we're going to be going into. I get this question a lot recently, just because there's been pretty big change in the real estate market, especially where I live now, here in Kitsap County, Washington, and was a lot of places in the Puget Sound area where there's not enough buyers right now. And there's a lot of price changes and there's a lot of price reductions, things like that. I am telling a lot of people, what to do in lieu of the price change and all the and I'm getting a lot of questions in regards to uh, what are the limits on how much a VA buyer can get for closing costs. We'll go over that after this dad joke, which goes, what do you call someone who works at the police station doing sketches on suspects? Someone that works at a police station doing sketches of suspects. They call them con artist. Get it? Con artist? All right. We're getting right into it. So, what I'm advising a lot of people while they're shopping with their clients is if they see a house and want to put an offer on a house that has had a recent price reduction. For example, it was listed at $500,000. Now it's listed for, let's say, 450. What I'm telling a lot of people, especially with how much interest rates have changed and how volatile they are, I would recommend offering the original price before the price reduction. Ask for like a $15,000 in closing cost, and you would still help the seller out rather than the price reduction that they would have done. So again, $50,000 isn't that huge of a change in their monthly payment compared to the change itself. For example, every $50,000 is about $200 to $300 in their payment. Most times they would have been qualified for that if they were shopping up to that purchase price range. However, being able to save, $10,000 to $20,000 upfront for closing costs is going to have a way bigger impact than potentially saving $250 a month when we're able to potentially refinance in the next 12 months based on how the economy is doing and the expected recession next year. So compare $250 a month versus saving $15,000 to $20,000 upfront just to buy the house. So you can always do in between. Maybe it's not, all the way to 500, maybe it's 475 and asking for 20 or 15, whatever it is. Because right now, a lot of clients are being priced out in both interest rate and closing costs, and it's just unfortunately what it is. So I personally would recommend always get closing costs paid for first, because that really impacts them, and then they can use the savings to help offset the monthly payment change that they would have been able to afford. So something to consider. But a lot of people are like, isn't that too much? Isn't that $15,000 to $20,000 too much based on whatever limits that are imposed by the VA? Well, actually, there's no technical limit on the VA home loan when receiving closing costs from the seller. So a lot of people think it's like 3 or 6% limit. There is no limit. So a closing cost can also be included with the rate buy down. So for example, if you get $20,000, the closing costs can fluctuate, and I can add more closing costs if I need to in order to. And what I can do with the rate buy down is lower their payment as well. So we can use all that money to either apply it toward all the closing costs to include the rate buy down that pretty much every rate has a buy down these days. Or if there's anything left on the table, we can apply it to our consumer debts. And that's where the limit applies, which means that what the VA loan says is that if any of the closing costs is going to be applied toward debt, as much as 4% of the purchase price cannot be applied toward debt. As far as closing costs, there is no limit. So if closing costs is getting high due to rate volatility, then the 4% limit toward debt doesn't apply until there's any money left. So there's ways to make sure we use every dollar amount that the seller gives you in order to put your buyer in a more advantageous position as much as possible. So these are some tricks and tips about when it comes to the VA home loan, especially with negotiating for your VA buyers. But in this case, a lot of people are doing price reductions because they're attracting more buyers. For those who are listing agents, I would actually just, instead of doing a price reduction, I would just offer seller concessions, because a lot of clients aren't really getting priced out due to monthly payment. They're getting more priced out due to closing cost. So and then they can use whatever's left to bring down their payment if needed, or potentially reduce the price if reduce the price after that. But I always recommend my clients reduce your upfront cash to get into the house, and then when rates drop, refinance later, and then your monthly payment will be a lot better. So something to consider as you're talking to your clients, getting them excited to go shopping, getting them excited to list their home, and ways to attract more buyers and be able to get clients under contract. So otherwise, that is all I got for you guys this week. Hopefully you guys have a great week, and I'll touch you guys on Monday.